Let's start with the Amish because I don't know where we're gonna go. I read your text. I didn't listen to it, so I didn't listen to. You have this theory that the Amish are adopting the internet.
I think they want to adopt the internet, and use it.
I'm saying that they better not, and if they do, I will excommunicate them from my imaginary Amish community.
Here's the thing. They're allowed to use electricity as long as it's...
In mine, I just cut it off in the 90s. We're going to have beepers in my Amish.
A lot of them can use electricity as long as it comes from solar panels. It just can't come from the grid. It's all about being off the grid.
Right.
If you can do it off the grid. So if you can get the internet off the grid.
And I know they'd hitch rides. Like, that was always a common thing among Amish. They won't drive a car, but they'll take a ride.
They call us all English.
Really?
They're right.
No matter, like, black, white, Chinese, you're English.
But you don't actually think the internet's going to, like, the Amish people are going to all of a sudden start
I think they're already using it.
You can use, you can't stop the internet from being accessed in Amish country.
No.
So, yeah, you could sneak at anything, but I'm pretty sure if they found out that you were, like, at night scrolling social media, you're kicked out.
How would they catch you? They're not supposed to be on it.
I feel like that creepy blue light. If you're just looking around at all these little Amish houses, you see the one room where somebody has like a blue. No, at night, like that's the thing.
If they have solar panels,
no, you have candles. No, you wouldn't. Even if you had solar panels, you wouldn't use it for like having a light bulb. You use candles to replace. You don't need light bulbs.
They use gas.
With stoves, like I'm not sure. Like they might
light.
They might have you might see a Amish at the stove.
I've never been in an Amish house before.
I think that would be a good. You want to do like in-person episodes?
That'd be sweet.
If it's an hour and a half. It's an hour. It's a critical voting block.
Can we get them to sit down and talk to us on a podcast?
No. Maybe they do shows. Like I said, they do make exceptions. If we were to drive them here, and we're the ones paying for all the electricity, and they don't have to work any buttons or anything, I don't see why not. They're a fascinating PA voting block because they don't always show up. They're like a seasonal. It kind of depends.
I don't think they vote.
Lockdowns. Well, lockdowns. The reason I have Amish love is their logic is they're very anti-vaccines.
Yeah.
Is they don't do the childhood vaccines, none of that, and they live longer than the average living longer than the regular American population, the non-Amish population. So if your argument is vaccines make us live longer, I don't know. I think things like having hot running water, having a fridge, having a stove, those generally add more towards longevity of life than your vaccines.
There was a sect of people in Fayette County that we went and visited, and I can't remember like the name. It was a weird name of like their religion or whatever.
Well, Mennonite. Craig was talking about the and that's not quite. There are Amish Mennonites, but that's a different. I think that's a sect of Christianity.
This was a specific thing. There's actually a factory on their land, and they made like equipment for like schools and stuff, and that was how they made money, and like that was how they sustained their like little like village basically. But a lot of people had their own houses, but they lived kind of like communally. Like they would still go to like like we ate with them. We went to like it was almost like Boy Scout camp. Like you went to the mess hall and you ate, and then people had like their own like little side places, and everybody had jobs. Like some people worked in the schools, and some people did this, and some people did that. Some people worked in the factory and made money, and they had phones. Like they needed to be able to like call each other, and they wore like regular like clothes like jeans and stuff, and they had cars, and they'd like leave and come back, but it was like a closed thing. They were ultimately trying to recruit people into their
But how easy would it be for them with those phones they have is to just access the internet? That's all a trust situation.
No,
you're not supposed to have a phone
access to the internet. I think they even had like little like computer labs where they could use it.
In my society,
didn't have it in their house.
Yeah, they're not supposed to be just using it anonymous.
Yeah. I think they would even
landlines in a computer lab.
Yeah. What?
Landlines in a computer lab. People are not walking around with their individual phones.
I was so
no. People are definitely walking around with cell phones.
I'm saying in my made up Amish society, I'm just going to arbitrarily pick out what pieces of technology I don't want to include and which ones I do. We're doing beepers and landlines. No more mobile phones. Walking around with this expectation that you should just be on call 24/7. You're always supposed to have this thing on you that everybody in your life can just summon you. Yes, it's good if you have a disaster and you wreck your car out on the road.
You can just turn your phone on silent.
And I do. I'm saying, yes, you can take
you're
these
good.
personal measures. I think a society, if we're talking about the raising of children, the raising of a community, I think it would be better if people did not have this device on them. And if a town or
I don't
a community,
think so. I think you just have to learn how to properly use it.
you can do that. I'm saying that I don't think it adds enough good to be worth the negatives that is currently contributing to society. That social media is a net negative.
What is the
There are
negative?
goods, depression,
Oh
suicide.
my God, you sound like a liberal.
There are a whole bunch of liberals that are completely batshit crazy because of the social media. Because of the
No.
filters and the expectation of always having to be perfect and having to worry about what 1,000 people think of you instead of just one classroom
They can
or
always
one
get off
workplace.
it, but they like it.
You can, and at what point are you considered an outcast? Are you considered that weird kid who doesn't do social media? If everyone
I don't
else,
think ever. People I-
Bruderhoff. That's who they're called.
I could not imagine.
People I see in my day-to-day life,
How
I
would
don't
you have gone through high
concern.
school? How would you have gone through high school during lockdowns without having social media? How would you talk to people?
You could text them. Your friends from school.
Well,
you
that's what a
probably
lot
have
of
their
people
cell
use
phone numbers.
Snapchat in place of texting. Like all these social media apps just kind of took over. Like you could call texting if these group threads that we have. That's like back in the day when we all had AIM and we
Yeah.
had group chats.
Right.
Like we kind of already did this.
We did
Yeah.
this.
So it's not like it's still social media.
We had MySpace. I mean, we had a very similar
But the
setup.
The
basically.
iPhone getting in everyone's pockets in like 2012, 2013, that
Yeah.
changed everything. Everyone having a camera on them all the time, everyone always being able to document everything.
MySpace
I
have
don't
a
think it's for the
feed?
good. I think it was for the worse.
I agree.
Like I think if we could rewind society, just take the benefits from the internet. Just the fact that
You don't like that everything's like on video now? I like that.
no.
Did
no, because
did MySpace have a feed? Could you scroll through MySpace? Or like you?
I can't remember
thought
that.
you
I
just,
think
like,
it had to be
looked
your
up.
friends list.
I
or
think so
something.
too.
Yeah.
Yes, and then you ranked your friends.
I
or
think
your
you had to
song.
go.
and
Did
doing
you have
all
to go
that, yeah,
look at
but,
their
like,
wall to see
profile
stuff?
wall thing. Yeah, I think that's what. Because I think that's actually a big differentiating factor here when we talk about like social media. Because it's like when you scroll through Instagram or Facebook or TikTok, like that's like you are browsing other people's content. You know,
Yeah.
it's not like you're picking and choosing necessarily what to see. That's where the whole algorithm
Right.
comes into play and all that. You know, so that's where the influence. That's where the controversy comes into play, really. Because it's like, what are we being fed via this algorithm? You know, like if it was just a MySpace situation where it was like, oh, I wonder what Craig's up to today, and I'm gonna go check out his MySpace wall,
Right.
and he posts like he's going to the Foo Fighters concert, and I want to go join him. Great, I'll call him, and we'll go make those plans.
Instead of
You
it just
know,
being like out
but-
there for everyone.
Yeah,
But I mean, Twitter was like that, but people just didn't use Twitter a lot.
well, yeah. Twitter didn't really have it until we were
I
in
still don't
college,
think a lot of
so.
people are using Twitter.
I don't know. We're gonna see here on
It has its
April
niche,
15th.
just like
April
anything
15th, it's going to be mandatory that you pay for your
Twitter.
Blue check if you want to be recommended.
Twitter's got a
on
lot of
people's feeds.
weird people.
Wasn't Elon Musk trying to buy also
Including
the
myself.
Washington Commanders?
Safe. If you're going to title yourself the free speech king.
It's crazy.
You had like a lot of people share that one like tweet you made.
Or no, hate comment me.
Okay, yeah,
I just troll people on there.
yeah. I
Like
mean, it
the
works.
Republicans are so easy to troll because they get heated real quick
Mhm.
and they just start typing. They don't.
Well, I
but
think
if
that-
you go to my
yeah.
profile, it says right in my bio,
Yeah.
like I'm probably trolling you.
But that's what it's become though. I
Yeah.
mean, it's about Twitter's just become a bunch of different trolls that you could just go out there and
Which is hilarious.
pick fights with people. I guess. Like I picked
Have
a
you
fight
seen the
with that one
3-year
guy,
Letterman?
so- Huh?
Have you seen the 3-year? Is it the 3-year Letterman or something?
I don't know. Have you?
He's on Twitter. Oh, he's hilarious, dude.
No.
I'll have to show you later.
Where's the Donald?
He's not coming back to Twitter.
He's going to have to eventually if he's going to if he's going to be competitive, he has to go back on.
He's waiting for the right time to be able to do that.
I thought he.
That's
I think
a
when they
very
said they were going to
calculated
investigate
decision.
him, that was the time to get back on Twitter.
Well, he might have passed the window, but he could.
It's gonna be like
Trump,
one of
he'll
the
make a
biggest
big-
tweets.
Well,
That's
that
what I'm
was
saying.
He's gonna, everyone's gonna.
He's gonna
see
make
it.
like a big media event
Yeah.
about it. Like so,
It's
that's
a way to reach everyone.
that's probably being planned right now
That-
as we talk, as we speak.
that was one of the big developments this week. That since our last episode, we posed the question: DeSantis trumps Trump. It's backfired horribly. It's gone. I think it's 54-24 Trump right now. Before that, it was like 40-36. over the past week, he's dropped
A lot
down
of
below.
people like Trump so much.
I think.
DeSantis has dropped.
Remember the video we played where DeSantis goes,
Yes.
I played the double clip,
Yeah.
and DeSantis is the one who goes, I don't know anything about paying strippers hush money.
Right.
That rubbed Republicans so wrong under the pretense that he was, and Trump set this up himself. How did we know Trump was getting investigated? It wasn't the New York AG.
Yes, right.
He truthed it out.
No, he made it
He
out.
reported, he leaked
be
himself like he always does.
Yeah.
CNN goes, we got him. Here comes jail. Fox goes, okay, rally the troops. You can't attack him for this. And it's like, and then everyone looks at the AG of New York and is like, you really going to do it? And he looks at the case and is like, I'll tell you in a week.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh no, this is terrible. He just hijacked the news headline. And all DeSantis had to do
Called this one.
is shut up. He didn't have to comment anything.
No,
All he had to say was, just, listen, we rally behind the president.
9 times out of 10,
is
the best thing to do is just not make any kind of comment.
Him taking that side comment, I think, was viewed as a backstabbing.
But
It's the old Republican. Like,
Trump
you
making
don't-
that comment would be totally.
He does it all the time. That's what we said.
acceptable,
DeSantis pulled a Trump maneuver.
Yeah.
And it's
Trump's
basically
allowed
like a
to
one
do
and
it
done.
somehow.
It's like the way I'm reading these polls now is they basically, and what I posited on here is could it be that or could it be DeSantis' anti-Ukraine stance? Is this, do we believe the polls? Like right now we're operating as that.
I was going to ask you that.
We're agreeing
is
is, I would be saying if you don't agree with the polls, I would say this is a signal from the establishment to DeSantis that your stance on Ukraine doesn't work. You might have Tucker and Trump's playing a nuanced version of it. His version is it wouldn't have happened if it was me. I can agree with that. I could see that argument. DeSantis is arguing that it shouldn't be the conflict as it is now should not be labeled what it is.
We slipped back into politics talk. We were supposed to be talking about just fun things here in the second episode.
The fun thing with Trump is he's coined a new word. It's banana republic.
Banana?
Banana republic.
I get it.
And he's doing it's fun to listen to him rally again. It's an interesting environment. It's campaign season is
back. The one
back.
thing Trump always did well was he was just entertaining, and like that's what you needed in politics. I think more than anything is people were bored with it. People didn't care. You have subcommittees and you have regular committees and you have this and you have procedural rules and blah blah blah. And it's just like Trump gets up there and makes a new word up and just goes with it. And he's
doing interviews with Hannity.
We talked about the IQ being dumbed down. I mean, he speaks at a 5th grade level. It just resonates with a lot of people, and it works.
He had a week worth commenting on.
Yeah,
he had a week worth commenting on. I want to make sure we got it.
Trump's number one thing from the get go was just be in the headlines.
Entertainer.
Always be in the headlines. Be an entertainer. Any PR is good PR. I mean, he's lived and died by that statement, and it ultimately worked as he got elected president. So it's like, okay, why change it now? Just you got to play it out. So, what about these? Do you know you spelled clots wrong?
Yes, that was a sarcastic. It's based off the way the internet writes. It's gangster. It's a blood clot.
With a K? Clot with a K?
Yes, that has to do with the Bloods and the Crips.
The county commissioner wife died. There's a lot.
No. Nobody cares about the county commissioner's wife dying. Hold on.
Some people do.
Who wanted to talk about blood clots?
There might be some people.
Yeah. There might be a lot. It'd be her viewing.
Would you want to listen to a podcast to hear about the death of a local?
Ashley
I can't even remember the title we're talking about here.
No, I don't.
County commissioner's wife.
We have 3 of them.
She was young, 36.
I know. We talk. Alec, are you saying it was because of the vax?
A lot of people are.
Are you saying it?
It makes me wonder.
It's not us. We didn't say it, did we? It could be.
I mean,
it could be. We know the vax is safe and effective and has saved millions of lives and stops the spread. And
I am willing.
Do not want canceled. Do not want canceled.
I am willing to take up residency in Conspiracy Village over this because I now know really enough people that have died from mysterious illnesses. That
vax side effects are a thing.
Yes,
like that. There were some people that are vax injured.
It should be acknowledged.
Yes,
because I look at her dying as basically a casualty of war. Whether that was from the vax or whether that was from maybe contracting it earlier, like I don't know, but like that's a side effect of.
As Jimmy Dore says, my heart swells 10 times the size if it's a normal.
Does
just think about it?
Them being public about it being from a lab make you feel that way more?
I don't know.
Like it's an act of war. You're saying it's an act of war, like.
Well, in a little bit, it's sort of tied into my TikTok. What we were talking about in the last episode. About TikTok,
I wanted to bring that up.
There was
To be
There is some
concerned about
crossover
TikTok
there.
and then not be concerned about the Woo Lab
Yeah.
or the AI.
Yeah.
It's like TikTok's really, if you're concerned about their mind control, take a look over here at these two things, because this looks a lot worse. We're talking gain of functioning. The only way to kill AI is Fauci's going to have to create some kind of virus to take the computer out. You're going to have to keep some kind of super bug that he's creating over there in Wuhan that'll like stop all the computers.
Did you know
from
that
taking
Elon
over.
Musk got prevented from buying the Washington Commanders? Like he was trying to buy them, and then like they wouldn't.
I
let
know.
him.
I know that the NFL does do that with the way their owners is like a club.
Yeah, it's like a club.
They
Like,
don't
all
let
have to
just
vote.
anybody in. Everyone has to agree to accept someone.
That's
That's why
the
Mark
Donald-
Cuban
isn't that Donald
is in the
Trump's thing,
NBA.
too?
Yep,
Yeah.
Donald Trump. He's just not allowed in the
That's
club.
why he had the whole like feud. with
Trump's
him.
not allowed in Vegas. He can't. He doesn't have a gambling license in Vegas. He's a hotel at the end of the strip, but he's no gambling license.
Why is that?
He's on the black book. Vegas has a list of people that are not allowed to get a gaming commission.
They're just not going to give it to him.
No, most like I said, this a lot of
Because he
times
screwed up Atlantic City.
Trump,
That's why.
the reason I was
What are
talking
we
about,
thinking?
I was talking about
Yeah.
yes, the reason I was exactly, and the reason I was talking about Al Capone and the IRS is Al Capone's another one that it's like Trump compares himself to that all the time.
But he's not
"They're
allowed-
coming at me like they came at Capone. It's like Capone was definitely guilty.
But he can't
I'm not
put in-
arguing Al Capone should not have been arrested. I'm saying is we didn't arrest him for murdering people. We arrested him for being a tax cheat.
Yeah.
But Trump can't put in theaters and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything but gamble. You can't have a
Sell
gambling
alcohol,
license. We're in Vegas though.
That's what you.
Unless
gotta
you're
do.
just having conferences and events, and he still has all that.
I've never
It's
been.
kinda- it's- it's
I've
spit in
never
your
been to
face.
Vegas, but everyone tells me, oh, there's so much more than just gambling there. 'Cause
Yeah.
My thing is like,
Kind
why
of.
do I want to go?
I gamble more outside of Vegas. When I go to Vegas, I'm almost always doing other things. I gamble for a portion of it, but I
Yeah.
gamble more around here, just by choice.
What's
Vegas,
the,
there's so much to do.
What is there? Like,
You're talking every style of show or concert, every single
so
night.
that's what I'm saying. Like, why can't
During the day,
Trump
you
be
got
doing
a
that kind of
pool,
stuff?
pool, perfect
Yeah.
weather, no. Like you can do whatever hotel amenities you have going on outside. If you want to take a day trip to
can
the
do
Hoover
that.
Dam, the Red Rock Canyons are 15 minutes away.
There's enough sporting teams there now.
They got two professional teams. Like
Yeah.
you're literally talking. At
Is
any,
it large? Like, is it a big city?
At any
Yeah.
at any given day,
Yeah, it's big city.
at any given day in Nevada, there are more people from outside of Nevada in the state than there are local residents.
Wow, there you go. Fun fact given to you at a casino.
They try and make a political argument that they should have more votes because
okay.
they technically have if you took an average population and you
Yeah.
included all the guests as
Yeah.
citizens, they would have.
Can you stay like right on the strip where like everything's at?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or if you don't want to, you don't have to. Some people don't like the strip.
It
Some
is-
people would
it
rather
is
be a
kinda
little more
hard to
private.
get around. I will say that. Like you basically have to take a car and an Uber everywhere you go. I mean, like nothing's really convenient, but
The whole point of the strip is you can walk it. Walking the strip is a crazy thing.
yeah, but it's like so big. Like it's hard to get in and out of places. is
You
what
golf.
I found when I was there.
Golfing
So,
is different
we did have to take a car to go golfing, but like
because
we
that's
stayed
the
at.
courses aren't on the. They're on the strip, but
Yeah,
the
we
hotel's
had
on
to
the
travel
strip,
for that.
but the course is outside of it.
So,
if you-
but when we stayed at New York, and we just wanted to go to like the neighboring casino. I mean, like you have to go like down and like over this like 6-lane highway, and I mean it was just like there's navigating.
it's built to walk. It's built so you don't drive because it's dangerous to drive because everyone's drunk all the time.
Yeah.
Like you go out 4 o'clock in the morning, 10 o'clock in the morning.
a lot
Anyone
of,
on the
lot of
street is
walking.
hammered.
Be prepared to walk when you go to Vegas.
Usually, but you're hammered, so it's like you just walk. Okay, you don't sweat because it's so hot and dry. There's no humidity.
It rained when we were
And
there.
you
It was,
can
like, the
drink.
weirdest thing.
You can like
Cool to
walk
see-
and drink.
See the
right?
clouds like
It was-
come over
yeah,
the.
It was pretty cool.
You can just walk and
Outdoor,
like drink.
Yeah.
Because I seen Danny Mullen did Edward 40 hands on the strip.
Man, do I love Vegas, man. do I love it.
Yeah. Anyway.
How did we get on the topic?
I don't know. We were just talking about Vegas.
Always good to talk about
Donald
Vegas.
It was
Trump.
Donald Trump.
Donald Trump and back side effects. So yeah, Craig and the blood. Who was the one who
What are
suggested
the
blood
airlines-
clots, and what did you want to report?
Oh, yeah.
You're saying blood clots
That's
are
what
up?
we were just talking about.
Well, yeah, we were just talking about
The vaccine
Well, it was
side
really because the county commissioner wife died, Ashley, and that was tragic.
Tragic. R.I.P.
And now I know enough people. Like she was only a couple years older than we were, and I guess that's what makes me think. So I also think there's more to that story. I think there's more details that will come out for that, but it's just
The dumbing down of the U.S. You brought it up last
Yeah.
episode. We never really talked about it.
We kind of did. I read an excerpt from the article. so.
To me, it's pretty common sense. IQ's down because
For the-
kids don't have to read, they don't have to do math, and for the last 3 years, they've been kept in a bubble.
I just think it's for the first time since 1932.
The Great Depression.
The IQ.
What's important about that
stopped
age,
raising.
1932? We're talking Great Depression.
Yes, I just felt like there was a general upward of society in the educational realm.
I'm
Like,
gonna
we all got smarter as time went on, generally speaking. More opportunities were presented for us to learn. It was more made to the public. You know, probably it started with like libraries, and then then you had the internet actually being used as a tool for a while, and I think helped improve IQ and like general educational opportunities. And then now we're at this tipping point where all of a sudden we're coming back down the mountain that we just climbed intellectually, and I think it's kind of a scary thing. And I think it relates a lot to what we were talking about with social media and TikTok and all that, because it's people becoming numb and they're not being able to problem solve. And I think this article actually made a reference to not being outside enough. They were saying like just you want to be in nature, and like you learn from that in so much of a way. So
it's not healthy.
Staying inside playing video games and looking at Instagram like creates a dumber person, I guess, is what this argument was trying to argue. So
all they're talking about TikTok is my understanding of that is it's like a walking ADHD.
Yeah.
Like it's like his just brain's constantly like twitching from like thought to thought to thought. It's like there's kind of a rhythm, but the only rhythm is to keep you engaged.
So in the Instagram and the Facebook videos, I fell victim to. Like, there'll be some time where I'll be, like, watching a sporting event and there's a commercial, and I'll just, like, okay, let me pull up Instagram or Facebook or, one of those two usually.
And then it's like 20 minutes later.
Well, it's like an hour and a half later.
Oh, jeez.
Okay, it's like all of a sudden I'm, like, looking at videos for, like, ever. Yeah. And it's like this little dopamine hit, and I look up at the clock and I'm like, it's almost midnight? Like, what happened? Like, that is the effect that I have had.
The only time that ever happens to me is with Hunter's laptop. So I just kept searching on it for like hours. I'm like, what am I even reading right now at
trust
this point?
me. I mean, I've done things where like I'll get on like a Wikipedia, kind of like you start clicking around and you start looking up like various people's like, and then you get into another.
That's
one,
how I got on the Amish
one,
kick.
and
I was just going through Amish.
You get on a feed
So
and then you just kind of.
I didn't
But
know
that's
how much
not social
debate
media.
here.
That's like general research, I would say. You're just like bouncing from one website to the Wikipedia page to the next. Yes. And it's like okay.
Yeah, I'll just
like
go on YouTube and follow YouTube video after YouTube video.
Yeah, right. Well, I mean, you can do that too, but. Like, there's a difference there, I feel like, between just, like, watching random videos on Facebook of, like, people jumping off roofs and getting naked and, like, doing weird things. And it's just like...
Oh, yeah. Those short little clip videos are useless. Other than, like,
you're not
you're
not learning anything. I mean, like,
No.
you're doing it to escape.
Never watch them. I'm never...
Yeah.
And I think that's why it's, like, a dopamine hit. It's kind of like America's Funniest Home Videos and, like, those kind of shows and, like,
Or, like,
ridiculousness
advertising.
or
If you're just trying to do a quick promotion and you hope, like, okay, maybe someone sees this, they'll go watch the rest of the episode. Like they're kind of trying to find
I mean, I think there's teasers in there, and then you follow people, and like that's what they want you to do. So it's like you see one person, and you kind of like their content. Like I started liking this person that was baking like old recipes from like early 20th century, and it's like I don't know, like some of these recipes were cool. I was thinking about trying to incorporate some of them at the cafe. So then then you start following him, and then you get hit with all of his content, and again, it's just like this downhill effect. And it's like I guess maybe I'm sort of learning something about baking and like something that's going on, but like really it's just mindless drool that like maybe I wrote one recipe down out of like the hundreds and thousands that I've seen of his, so it's just like one of those things, not thousands but probably at least 100 I would think at this point. So yeah, anyways, that's my kick, that's my point. Like you go on these like mind warps.
It sounds like a drug. Like, okay, that's what I'm just going to take a couple hits of weed and watch this documentary for a little bit. Yeah. Next thing you know, you spent 2 hours watching about bugs.
I'm just going to have a couple of drinks, and now I'm wasted.
Betting on a game that you can't even tell what two teams are going to play.
And I made my point about sports betting before, because like I bet during the pick game, and then like I didn't get the high that I wanted when they won the play-in game, which is what I bet in, when they hit like the 2-pointer to win, because I didn't get my over-under.
Oh, yeah.
And so then I was mad. And it was like it completely ruined the dopamine effect that I was going for by watching the game by betting on it. And it's like I guess I could have bet like North Fresno State and Wichita, and I would have been like more interested in it if I bet. But I didn't, because like I would have had no real interest to watch that game, even if I had thousands of dollars.
Now, did you have them parlayed, or did you have them bet against each other?
It was the same game parlay, yeah.
See that? And that's,
so that was what?
I was more trying to understand the mentality of people during March Madness that were betting slates. Like, two or three games go
yeah.
every like 15 minutes to half an hour. Betting 3 games, and then what ends up happening is you go 2-1 in whatever direction, and you're just kind of left with this. If I had to pick the right 2 games, or if I like, it's almost you can't win.
Yeah.
You have to win all of them, and then if you do win all of them, you should have had them parlayed, and then you get the bonus money.
You get the bonus, yeah.
So it's like I get confused at that gambling strategy that it happens in football.
Yeah,
where at 1 o'clock,
I was going to make the football argument.
You go from 7 games at 1, and most people, or let's say you're going to bet $100 total dollars over the course of each set of games. So you have 1 to 4, there will be 7 games. You'll have 4 to 7, there will be 3 or 4. And then you'll have Sunday and Monday Night Football.
Right.
And essentially what you end up doing, especially now that all your money is digital, is okay, at 1 o'clock, I'll bet $25 on 4 teams. Mm-hmm. I take all of the winnings and then divide that up on 2 teams at 4. Mm-hmm. You take then all your winnings or losings and you double it down on the Sunday or the Monday night game. So there's almost like a sequence in which the NFL seduces you to gamble your money.
All the way through.
March Madness, you're getting it like on speed.
Yeah.
Where it's just like they got that schedule pumping where
like you missed on that
like
game,
10 rounds.
There's another one in
double
2
up,
hours.
yeah, and then
so
you
might as
double
well
up
keep
again.
going.
And it's like you just kind of keep piling them. And it's like, that's why they call it. It used to just be before the internet, it was just brackets. Not everyone had a bookie.
Right.
Where it's like, okay, well, I'm going to go watch my bracket. I'm hanging out with friends. I'm going to go bet on a couple games
fun.
I like too. Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Throw a little season.
harmless.
A little pepper on the games.
And then with your buddy, you would say, hey, $5 if this team wins or not. And you would just do a straight up bet, and that'd be it. There would be no same game parlay, over under, like, oh, like I won, but I didn't because I didn't get to 142.5 points.
And that's where you get the fixing. You get the fixing accusations because it always seems to be that the games that are played by themselves, the ones where everyone bets on one. When 7 games are going, the money's spread out. You wouldn't think the NFL or the NBA would fix any one game. Sunday night, you have the same amount of money that was spent at one is now being bet on one outcome. That changes the whole dynamics of it's a lot more profitable for you to maybe, hey, let's only win by a field goal.
And I think that's ultimately why gambling was illegal for so long.
Do you think they really make those decisions?
They did. The reason we talk about this is the oldest example is like the 1920s. The Chicago White Sox pitched a World Series threw it away. They all bet against themselves through the game. I don't remember what the penalty.
Rose.
Well, and Pete Rose bet on himself. Mm-hmm. So the concern is always like,
what's wrong with that?
Nothing. Nowadays, players have. The same way that you have bought farms, I'm sure players have little gambling farms that you can say, listen, I'm getting over 80 yards receiving tonight. I talked to my Q. Dial it up. Everyone wants to put a bet down. Let's treat it like a stock tip. It's a banking investment. You put $500,000 on me to get 80 plus yards.
There was something I heard in hockey, and it was like this guy's dad came to his game. And it's like, and there's like weird stat out there. Like every time this guy's dad shows up to his kid's game, he has
that's a signal.
Then he goes off and has a hat trick. And it's like if you would have bet over under 2.5 goals for like this one like third line player.
So if you're the family,
you would make a lot of money.
So betting the under on yourself would be a no. But like if you're gonna go bet the over,
I would view that as unethical.
If you're going to bet the over, that means you're trying to do better than what your average
on
is.
On individual stats, though, that gets dangerous because you could pad your stats at the expense of the team. So you could bet on yourself in basketball to go over and just be a ball hog and screw the team. Right. Make sure you get 30 and miss half your shots.
Yeah.
So that's what's... To me, betting...
So you shouldn't be allowed to bet with the spread?
No, you should never be able to bet against yourself.
Or for yourself. I mean, you shouldn't be able to bet in general.
If you bet on your team... No, but then the argument is betting on your team. There are gamblers that are making more money than the players are.
That's just
and if a player wants to put money on his team to win...
At the end of the day, it's
if a coach, in Pete Rose's scenario, I think he was a coach when that happened. He was betting on his team to win.
Definitely wasn't a coach.
He wasn't?
No.
No, he wasn't.
No, he was a player.
Was this when they had like a player-coach situation though? For some reason,
I don't think so. I don't know where you're getting that from, but
irrelevant. Because
Pete Rose will never get into the Hall of Fame, though.
I think he will. I think him, Bonds, Roger Clemens, that whole crew.
They're all eras. They're just parts of history.
They were icons, and people watched the sport because of them.
Ken Griffey Jr. is that one player for me. Like I hope he does get in.
He's not in.
I don't think so because the roids. None of the roids people have in.
I didn't know he got caught up in the roids.
I think they all did. I have to look that up, but I mean
The
that's
entire
major.
league was on roids.
That's what I'm saying. Like everybody was just associated with them. So it's like anybody from that era, the Sammy Sosa, the McGuire, the Griffey, who was the Mets catcher.
Well, Sammy Sosa
Mike
also was
Piazza.
corking his bat
Piazza.
too, wasn't he?
Yeah, huh?
Sammy Sosa was corking his bat. Also,
Oh yeah, I
wasn't
mean there was just like rampant cheating going on.
He
in
pretended
baseball at some
he
point,
had a
so-
Capitol Hill hearing and pretended not to speak English.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's right. He did.
He's also like bleached himself. He's like white now.
Oh really?
Yeah, he's like.
Hey,
what?
Sammy's an odd cat. Sammy's an odd cat.
But there was just like, and those were the players that we grew up with, anyways. Like I was Ken Griffey Jr. fanatic.
We grew up in that era.
So,
That was like the best baseball
Yes,
was when
it
the Roy
was.
drama was going on.
They should let the roids back into baseball.
well, some people make that argument actually, because it was more entertaining.
And that's why I think in our lifetime, we will let them in.
Well, enough people will die off from the old school that like eventually some of them will get in. But like Roger Clemens, I think was one.
Roger Clemens, I
They
think
weren't.
Kurt
They
Schilling.
weren't letting in for a long time.
He still isn't in.
No.
Yeah, I just listened to an interview with Roger Clemens.
Yeah.
He's given up on it. He doesn't
Yeah.
care. He's like, I know what I did. I've made my money. I'm on the I'm into other investments.
Well, and that's the thing.
I'm past like whatever.
They
It's a
made
dumb
their
award.
money. Like you can't take that away from
Yeah.
them.
It's a dumb
So
award.
it's kind of like okay, like Hall of Fame, like
Silly
whatever.
hat.
Like it is what it is.
Yeah, it's
so.
a silly hat.
Do you want to comment on anything March Madness related? I know we had 4 teams that are not blue bloods.
Did you just
blue
skip
bloods.
airlines say peanut butter?
No, I'm kind of reorganizing them as I can get through it. We can do the airlines.
We
I
brought
would have
up-
been waiting
we
for
brought up
peanut
Matt-
butter.
we brought up
You
March
have tried to
Madness.
get to. I was going to do that with a drop in the IQ, but we moved into the sports, so I just figured I'd get that taken care of.
Yeah,
Whatever.
well, let's wrap up March Madness.
I
What's
don't
the
have much.
deal with
I'm
the
rooting for
transfer
Miami,
portal?
women's and men's. That's
Penn
my
State's
thing.
losing some of
It's
their
all about the U.
that freshman there.
Okay, like, well, let me ask you guys this: what do you guys have any upstantious thoughts? Might have made up that word about the transfer portal.
Like on
like-
how it works.
Are you generally do you like the environment that it's created in college sports,
No.
or do you hit it? Yeah, like is it like it's almost like do you like technology argument or not? You know, it's like oh yeah, we all love social media, but there's these side effects.
I don't like
oh
that
yeah,
these
we
kids
all love the
can
transfer
just.
portal, but you know dot. You know,
So I do kind of like that kids get a second chance. So they like say you're going to try to go to Penn State, but you know Drew Aller's there, but you think I might be able to beat him out. You give it a shot,
Or you go
and then if you don't do it, you
get
can
it-
transfer
you
and
can
go
transfer,
somewhere
yeah.
else.
or you go for a coach, and that coach moves.
yes,
You go to
Yeah,
a
yeah.
Georgetown.
I
I
think
think that was
I
the
think
big
that's-
guy. They
yeah.
lost someone who went to no. The guy went to Georgetown, left Providence.
you can go follow your coach.
Yeah, I just don't like
I
the.
don't know.
I don't like the.
I like it in football because
players-
it's made new teams relevant.
Well, that's the same thing with
Oh, really?
basketball.
I mean, if you can get the right coach in that can bring a different dynamic to recruiting.
Well, and it's actually I think
Yeah,
bigger.
but now they have to recruit active players.
Yes,
And pay,
that's-
and the portal,
And pay
you're
them.
competing now to how much you're
'cause you have-
paying and
you have-
rewarding
yeah.
your players.
Name
That
it-
if they can,
you have name, image, likeness too. So it's more. It's not just the transfer portal, but it's also the money.
Yes.
You know. So if Penn State can attract somebody,
And it's all what
Then-
the like donors are paying. Like what
Yeah,
they're it's all
right.
that stuff.
it's harder to justify redshirting players and not starting
Yeah.
them immediately.
I mean, ultimately,
I'm
as
50-50.
as a curmudgeon old man over here, curmudgeon.
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 Yeah, so you're making up a lot
I'm
of
making up a
words
lot
the
of
last
words.
couple minutes.
Curmudgeon's the word I was looking for. I can't like get behind this. Like I really can't. Like there's
The
just,
money. I think it's a good thing. The kids got to get paid. Like
But then you have to have a portal. Like you can't say I don't like the.
I would almost take one or the other. Like if you want, like
I don't think
if-
you can. The reason why the portal is so valuable is the
know.
player sees a chance to make more money somewhere else, so they want to jump through that portal to the other place.
That's why I don't like any of it. Like it just complicates the whole
And,
field.
and this is a lot of people who were against
So-
this before they started it said this,
Yeah.
that you were going to basically create a little mini NFL,
Mm-hmm.
that you're going to have trouble maintaining the spirit of the game that you love, Craig, while participating in a capitalist endeavor that could
'cause
consolidate.
I think once a player knows he's a starter on a team, it's less likely he's going anywhere, unless he's a lower level team. But if he's at a top,
I don't know.
like a team playing for a
don't
I'm
know
only
either. I
concerned
don't
about
know
the teams
either.
going for a national championship. I don't think a guy on
I truthfully
Alabama
never followed
starting-
transfers that much. Like before this whole portal concept came up, I
Yeah.
didn't follow transfers that much. I knew that it was a weird.
But like, look at the
process.
pit pass.
I don't
look
think
At,
Alabama starting quarterback's ever going to transfer to Ohio State. You
No,
know,
but I
that
could-
move's never going to
I
happen.
could,
let's
I could
talk
see
about it in
Ohio
the-
State and Penn State players moving to Alabama.
Starters. I don't think starters.
Maybe
I
young
think maybe
freshmen.
second stringers. Yeah.
I actually think you need to think about it in the basketball terms a little bit more.
That's where it's playing Charles
You only
Barkley.
have 5 people on a basketball
Yeah.
court, first of all,
Mm-hmm.
and it only takes 2 or 3 of them to like really make it. I mean, look at
Hell,
what happened
one.
to Pitt.
Hell,
Oh, yeah,
one.
you
Pitt
could
went
lose
from a
somebody
losing
quick.
team to like at least
just a couple-
getting
yep.
Yeah.
like a second round into the March Madness tournament this year,
Especially,
because they had,
especially
like,
a one and done tournament.
Right.
Like you only need
Yeah.
a couple good players to get
and
hot.
it's one and done in college
So-
basketball. So like you could go out and have like a really good tournament run after getting transferred and then go right into the NBA. Like that's all it takes. So that's why the stakes are so high. And that does make for good basketball, because everyone's trying. But it's just it creates this like ladder system that's like kind of strange, I guess. I don't know. Like it's new, and I'm just like naturally just averse to like new things for the most part. But
What's this about baseball is might not be implementing their new rules?
I think they're gonna edit them a little. I don't
What,
think
the
they're gonna
pitch
get
count?
rid of them.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
three changes.
they gotta make that longer, and making eye contact. You gotta make sure you make eye contact with the freaking batter. The one dude got a ball because the pitcher didn't make eye contact.
I didn't see that.
Yeah,
That's another
They
one.
might
of
get
those
their act
things
together in
where
baseball
weird.
here for this season.
Everybody thinks it's such a good thing, and it's like get rid of the replay, get rid of the pitch clock.
They just
let
wanna
them
make
play
it quicker,
Oh,
'cause
yeah, I
they-
forgot you're anti-rules. We've litigated this before.
At least for
We've litigated
baseball,
this.
like really, like okay, like even the football things become overblown, but like it just it ruins the whole thing for me. So
I think they should just do away with commercial breaks and all that in the middle of the game.
That
Like
could
the
be
inning
part
should
of it.
end and they should just start.
Yeah.
I think
When you watch a
when we
soccer
move to
game, there's no
streaming-
commercials.
That's right.
No, the
That's right.
NFL experiments
Yeah.
with they'll put the commercial on in a mini screen
Mm-hmm.
so you can still watch the in between plays, and the commercial goes for like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
So it's like
golf
they have
does
like a
this.
That's how they should handle
They
it.
call it playing through,
Or they
and
should
just,
let you buy the
have
premium
it on
ads,
the
yeah.
side,
They should let you buy the premium version that gets no ads though.
I think.
Well, you're paying for cable.
yeah.
I think that's the biggest thing.
That's the thing,
Like, I'm
it shouldn't be
paying
ads.
$100 a month for cable, and I have to watch ads on top of
It's
it.
annoying.
Like this is bullshit.
Yeah.
Like okay, we are now on the streaming world.
That's
That is
why
one
you
good
pause
thing
the
internet
game.
brought
You
us.
pause the game and you fast forward through and then you don't check your social media so it doesn't get spoiled.
But then you can't watch.
You don't
it,
read
but then
Craig's
you
text
can't watch
messages.
it
He's giving
live.
updates.
Yeah.
How
then you
much
can't watch it
better-
live.
how much-
Hide the phone. I hide it away until I get caught up. I don't look at my phone because I don't want to get randomly.
How much better would March Madness be if every time they found they had their timeout, if they just stayed right on it and they went right back on the court? Like it was just
Watching the
there's
end of
no-
some of these March Madness games are brutal.
Yeah,
I
when
mean,
they
it's
go to
just like-
commercial breaks and stuff.
Yeah, and those are the commercial breaks they really want because they call a timeout.
Yeah.
You're forced to sit there and watch
You're
the
waiting.
last
You're waiting,
3.2
yeah.
seconds.
You've been waiting for
You
it.
get a foul. They make one of the free throws, another timeout, bring it up the court, get it to have another timeout, so you can get the inbound from half court. I mean, it's crazy. So
And then baseball, if the team ran off the field and the other one ran right on, couple pitches, back at it. No.
that's what. Let me like.
Imagine golf with the shot clock.
I know.
You had to like run a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Like you hit it, you get to the
Speed
ball. You
golf.
got 10 seconds.
Speed
Let's
golf.
go.
I know Greg and I have umpired before, but that just like that really has a lot to do with it. Like if you can like prod that, like I mean I've done 7-inning softball games with 13-year-old girls, and we're done in an hour and a half because it's like if everybody really is committed to getting this done in like a
and just playing.
good amount of time.
Yeah.
Not
And
all
the coaches
BS.
are on it, and they're making sure the catchers are like have their equipment on, and
But there's
you only
just
get
so
your
many
3
incentives
pitches,
with
and
the way
umpire does
professionals
that,
are for
and-
pitchers to stall. And that
No,
is
I
bad
know,
for the
and
game.
that's-
It's terrible for the crowd. Watching 3 or 4 pickoff attempts
Yeah.
that are just because the guy doesn't want to throw to the batter. It's painful to watch.
Well, and there's old rules in baseball, or like unwritten rules. So it's like, okay, you really don't want that person to steal, you throw it 3 times. Like that's one of those unwritten rules that
I'm
just
fine with the
baseball
pitch
players
overs, though.
know about. So it's
I'm
like you
fine
throw
with
it
that.
over
That's
3
part of the
times.
Yeah.
game. Like I'm fine with all that stuff going on.
Well, and
it's the stalling, like just the wasting time out there, making like there's pitchers that like make an inning drag because of their wind up.
No, it's
And-
part of
and
this.
I would
It's a
say-
strategy. If the other team's hot, slow them
Yeah.
down. Don't let them get in a
I
rhythm.
think a pitch
Right,
a
right.
pitch clock is good, but it just shouldn't be like restrictive. Really,
Well, they-
Like,
yeah, well-
it should be only like somebody
They'll be able to work
absurdly
out of
wasting time.
Yeah, yeah.
Gets it.
well, I think
I heard that they were just
stealing-
scrapping all the rules. That they were just going to go back to the way it was and
I
just like
haven't
not
heard
mess
that.
around with it.
I hope.
Yeah,
But I
that'd be
don't think
cool.
that's true.
I like slow baseball, just sitting there, just The pitch over, you hear the smack of the leather.
It's kind of like golf. Like when they put it on TV, like I think secretly the networks love it because it's a lot of content that soaks up most of your airwaves. You know, for
and
like
people just
5
have
hours.
it on in the background.
Yeah, and it's just
Who
like
else
something
is,
that you have on.
No one's sitting there watching.
But here's
golf.
content's.
Are you sitting there watching golf?
I mean, I watch golf.
He puts it on the diner.
Like, I mean, but can you
Constantly.
sit there?
Yeah.
Can you sit there and watch it like it's the Steelers?
I mean, the Masters. Yes, I will do that.
Really?
Yeah.
Holy crap!
I mean, that's when
I've tried to watch golf for like
the
5 minutes.
the St. Jude tournament. Probably not, but I mean, the Masters. All the majors, I'm sitting there and I'm watching them pretty intently, you know.
Really?
He's been watching golf since we
How
were
do you
young.
follow it? Because don't they
golf.
just flip back and forth through golfers?
Well, so actually, I mean, here's the thing
Oh
too.
God, Craig, where are we going?
Like if we're gonna get into the weeds
Quickly,
on
Alec.
this,
Quickly.
I mean, this is a culture.
I
thing.
I like the beginning of tournaments, like so Thursday, Friday before the cut line, because you have like all the tee times are spread out, so you have good players like all throughout the day.
Okay.
When you watch on the Saturday and Sunday, all the good players they have the later tee times in the afternoon because
You just wait till 1 to tune in as opposed to watching 9 o'clock golf.
Yeah.
it's not so much that, but you're getting them bouncing around from player to player so much. I mean, it happens on a Saturday afternoon and a Sunday afternoon too.
That's
But there's just so much golf going on a Thursday and Friday.
Don't take the
because
bait.
it's
Don't take the bait, Greg.
it's before the cut, so you have so many people playing golf at one amount of time that you literally are just going from like player to player to player, watching this shot, watching that shot.
But you never know if it matters.
Somebody chips in here, somebody chips in there. The leaderboard's changing. This
It doesn't
person's
mean
making
it-
a run
it's not
over
even a
here.
real leaderboard.
That
They're-
person's making a run over there. I love it. I love Thursday at the Masters. It's one of my favorite days to watch.
I guess.
So.
Do you have an opinion on this, Craig? Because I believe the popular opinion is the only thing people want to watch is Sundays.
They want to see Sunday
because you
afternoon.
get to know who's relevant.
If there's drama. Sometimes sometimes there's not always drama. So I'll take the Thursday, Friday.
So if there's no
because there's so much more shuffling.
The reason there's
it's
no
kind of I like the early March Madness games better than I like the Final Four for the same reason.
Do the
because
golf-
there's just
that's
so
the
much-
argument.
there's
That's the argument to make.
There's more action.
Okay.
I like the action.
And I'm vice versa. I like
Yeah.
once we know who matters. I don't want to waste my time
Yeah.
watching a team getting emotionally invested so they lose in the Sweet 16.
No,
Does the caddy-
first 2 rounds of March Madness
Okay.
are my favorite, like 3 days in sports. So.
To me, it's
Do-
pure chaos that I can't. My brain can't wrap
I
around.
love it.
Okay.
Do we
Okay,
know if
fair.
the caddies can keep the players up to date on the like their ranking while they're playing?
Yeah. How?
So there's certain.
Do they know,
there's,
like,
there's
like,
leaderboards
if they're
throughout
hitting
the
a
course.
shot-
Doesn't someone walk around with a
So
giant?
they're
scoreboard?
aware
Well,
when
there's
they
that
make a
too.
shot if they've like jumped somebody.
Yeah, for the most part.
So do they react?
It's similar to
Some-
bowling.
sometimes.
It depends how nebby you want to be. Some players don't want to know.
Yes. that's
Some players are
right.
like, I'm just
Some
playing my
people
own game.
just- yes.
This guy's 4 holes ahead of me. Why do I need to know if I'm 2 behind? I have 4 more holes to
Yeah,
go.
but bowling on TV is the bracket. at
No,
the
I'm
end.
talking bowling tournaments when you're just on your own lane and there are 16 other lanes of bowlers. You can walk up and down
And, like,
and have
check
your
scores.
parents going like, well, this person had a
And it can be an
220 here, and
advantage because
This person, that's common.
because you might need to say I need to be more aggressive because I'm down a certain amount.
How
of
emotional
you
you
know,
are as a
but-
player is. Are you finding out that information? Are you going to be harder on yourself and get in your own head? Or is that information useful strategically for you to change your strategy
Yes,
to,
right.
okay, maybe I'm bowling well, but someone threw a 260. So I'm going to have to make up 30 or 40 pins. This line I'm playing now is not going to get that kind of action.
At least in golf,
Switch spots, high risk, high reward.
So when you were bowling, how good were you at switching
I
spots?
think when I said parents walking down, my mom and dad, that was their thing. Is they would go down and they'd be, okay,
the scores.
this guy at a 240, this is a 220. You're 10 behind that, 10 behind that. Because there's no formal.
like leaderboard.
No, you had to wait half an hour until after you were done to find out where you ranked.
the winner was,
And you
yeah.
throw like a 650 or something. I'm like 11, 12. It's like, that's good.
golf tournaments were kind of like that too because everybody finished in weight. You had foursomes go out. Right?
There was no clean ending to
You'd
the
have 4
game.
people come in fours. So if you were an early one, you posted a decent score. You got to sit there and you got to watch. Like, hey, what you shoot? You could ask people on the course, like, hey, anybody in that group playing well, and then you can kind of try to get like a feel for it, you know. But you would never really know, you know. The pros you do. In the pros, there's a leaderboard.
So I'm wondering like if they just
so
have
often.
it on them.
Yeah.
The best
In golf, it actually works against you, I think, more often than it does. Because in golf, you really actually don't want to be as aggressive as you think you need to be. If you're pin seeking and you're really trying to like hit drivers on holes you shouldn't be hitting drivers on, more often than not, you end up fucking up.
And your caddy helps you with this. This
Yes,
is like a caddy.
exactly.
This is like a coach kind of process.
Yeah.
This is why you have a bowling coach.
Right.
This is like the kind of thing where you have someone to go through that.
Bowling's a little. I mean, basically the object in bowling is you're trying to get a strike every time. So I mean, it's like it's hard to, I think, to gauge aggressiveness.
The first tournament I ever won was in 5th grade.
No, you throw it too hard sometimes.
Yeah,
that's a part.
Yeah,
of
no,
it.
you definitely get Alec, you didn't do as much tournament bowling because you were doing it through the school.
I played, I think, 2 tournament bowling things in my.
You guys never bowled together.
Well,
I never bowled with you.
No. Yeah, because you just bowled in that middle school club.
Yeah, and I got decent enough at one point that I made a couple of tournaments.
Me and Greg were on a bowling team together. I have a
For a
picture
while.
of us. Our team name
Sexy
was Sexy
Time.
Time.
Sexy Time. How did we come up with that? That was after the whole
remember they
cell
had-
phone thing.
They had Stephen Barry's.
Yeah, Stephen Barry's had this. Yep.
The T-shirts, and we found the Sexy
like
Time
$6,
T-shirts.
$7 T-shirts.
okay.
So, because
Yeah.
you had to wear the uniform, or we could just have our own team T-shirts.
Anything
So
that matched.
we went and got Sexy Time
Makes
T-shirts,
sense.
and that was our team. We were bowling against sometimes like 9-year-old kids.
That was an odd league. Yeah.
It's like such an
We were all high
wide,
school,
yeah.
like starting
18
bowlers,
years
and we're
old.
going against like middle school kids.
And they
Give
would
them
beat
300
us, though.
pins.
They would beat
Because you
us.
give them 300 pins,
Yeah.
and so you have a handicap of 3 players.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, what days? How did
Ready
we
to wrap things
Yeah, I was
up
gonna say
here?
everyone could have a one more thing. Do you guys have anything you want to? Any topic you want?
Why was the peanut butter on the airlines?
Let's do the peanut butter for you. Because I wrote it down because it's like it's interesting. Peanut butter. What do you consider it? Because the debate is when you take it out of a butter, when you take it out of its packaging, it doesn't lose its shape. If you were just to take peanut butter out of its jar, it would kind of like fall up. Like it wouldn't stay stacked.
It's not as hard, yeah.
No, so it's not.
It's a different kind of butter.
It's peanut butter.
I think I would say
Peanut butter's a little different than margarine.
the argument I heard that was the best was that it's more like a paste, like toothpaste.
Well, margarine.
So like once you get the tooth out of the paste, you
You're
can't put
not
it
allowed
back
to have
in.
it on planes now.
You have to follow the liquid requirement of however like ounces.
So you can't sit there with a jar of peanut butter.
Yeah, for those of you, and that's why I didn't know what to put it on there, is because for those of you who are looking to bring peanut butter in planes, it's officially been labeled a liquid, and if they do change to paste, which makes sense to me, they're still going to put the limit on it. So you're gonna have to buy your paste or your liquid peanut butter when you get to your destination. I wouldn't
peanut butter rules.
I wouldn't worry about it at the airport. It's apparently going to become a problem.
Apparently, I guess there's been a lot of people caught with guns
Oh, really?
in the airport lately, like loaded guns.
I've heard planes have been hitting each other.
I haven't.
They've been like close to like on ramp.
With the windy days recently, my mom flew back in from vacation, and she said they circled and went back to Washington D.C. at duels twice.
Oh no,
They couldn't because they couldn't make the landing. She said they circled like 10 times first.
I've always wanted to go to
And
that airport.
They tried to land, and it was just like they couldn't land, so they had to come back up, go back.
Besides Vegas,
more
Dulles
freely.
Airport, Vegas
Yeah.
or DC is supposed to be one of the more entertaining. Like you're going to see famous people. There's a lot of people
I've been
moving
to
in and
that
out.
airport.
I've never been to
I've
Dulles.
never been to those either.
No,
The nicest one I think I've been to is up in New York. Is it the one with the Apple?
I've never been to any of the New York.
There's 2
area.
airports up there.
I've never been to any of the New York area airports either.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just because if anything
They just had all the extra
no,
tech.
I haven't been to the New York ones either.
Because
I've
anytime
been
we've
on
ever got to go to
layovers
New
there.
York, we don't fly there from Pittsburgh.
You never end up
so-
on a layover somewhere?
Weirdly enough,
Most of my layers are
That's
like
why.
Charlotte, Atlanta, or like Arizona,
Philly,
Chicago.
a few times.
Chicago.
Yeah, Chicago's a big layover one. Philly.
But I've never flown east. I would just drive
Boston.
east. I've never been to Boston, which I wouldn't go because the Irish Mafia would kill me.
Boston's a cool town. Very snobby, but
Gangland.
cool town.
Do you have anything you want to throw in for a final subject?
I was trying to read your handwriting. I can't.
There's cyber attacks. That's what you said in the group thread.
415 update.
That's Twitter forcing everyone to buy blue checks. We already talked about that.
Okay.
The cyber attacks, 21st century warfare.
Yeah, that's not light subject. Why is that making the second half?
Because you suggested it, and when I asked after I sent the pictures of the rundown.
This was the local PA story.
Yeah, that's what I was. Do you have anything you want to comment on that, or you think it's important, or?
I just thought it was weird that all Pennsylvania schools got hit with this. This was something Commonwealth-wide.
Wait, what happened?
Like, I guess like a bunch of computers made these like ultimately fake like mass shooter alert.
Is that what happened
calls.
today?
Yes, that's what happened today.
Because I had to go pick up cash from school, and they said it was the internet was down or something.
Okay.
Oh,
It could have been related to
wow.
this.
That's what I was wondering, if they lied to us about what it was.
It could have been. Could have been.
What'd they hack? What do they have now? What information did they grab?
It wasn't hacked. It was just like all these phone calls went out, like a flood of phone calls went out of like alerts, like warnings, basically, like, hey, we're gonna come shoot up your school, basically. And it was like right after, because of the Nashville thing, everybody was taking it kind of seriously, and so like all these schools like Erie, Altoona, Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, Allentown, like all these, like all it was across the state, which is the only thing that's kind of weird. It wasn't localized. It was like all these different pockets, and a lot of school districts took it seriously and did like shut down and like lock down and like, you know, do all their whatever. It was kind of, for me, it was like a forced drill. You know, it was like, okay, like who's really behind this? You know, it's just
or how quickly are these schools gonna like respond?
Yeah, so it's just like one of those like weird things that happened. Nothing actually happened. Like nobody got hurt. Nothing actually. There was no mass shooting event or anything. It was all false alarm.
I seriously don't understand why like we don't arm. Like, if you just had teachers that were just allowed to be trained and armed, and they went through a certification, and no one knew what teachers were carrying, you might run into that room and get blasted. Like, that's the way you defend.
Alec doesn't want to send his kid to a jail with prisoners on the roof,
dude,
or snipers on the roof.
It's scary.
Kind of.
Dude, I'm scared to send my kid to like.
Craig wants snipers on the roof.
Dude, there's nothing protecting. When I went to school in Greensburg,
I want to avoid needing snipers by decreasing the number of choke points.
I could walk into that school any time of the day.
Talked about in the last
there was
episode,
nothing stopping a school shooter.
No,
isn't that scary?
We did. This is negative. That's definitely not. This is not negative.
Yeah.
Actually, no. I'm gonna play the most depressing thing you could ever hear. Let's end it.
Let's just end it.
No. It's one more thing for everyone else. You guys just got your one more thing. Let me get my one more thing.
I'm ending episode.
He did giving us one more thing, so he could.
That was the whole point of it. Is I had one more thing I wanted to do. I was giving you guys.
Put my headphones back.
I was giving you guys a stall.
I'm gonna end episode 1 with pumped up kicks.
Okay, if you want to end with it after, yeah.
I thought we were gonna open with it.
You want me to open with it?
Yeah, open with
it. You pointed towards what we missed, which I wanted to get to.
No,
breaking news.
Screw it.
Breaking news. Have you heard this story yet?
No. I'm listening to this.
Okay.
Go.
Listen here.
What is it?
It's Hillary Clinton. She's running.
What?
What? Hillary's running again?
I know. I heard that's so crazy. This is wild. She's running again.
Here I am.
Hillary, you're running again.
Well, I sure am, Karen. I just got here early for the new class we're teaching together on foreign policy decision making.
Classes don't start until September.
Yeah, but I wanted to be prepared, Karen. You know, when it comes to crisis situations, you've always got to be prepared.
Prepared? I think you're more prepared than anyone to teach this course. Now, what are we going to call it?
Inside the Situation Room.
Yes. And I'll cover the theory of political decision making and strategy.
Mm-hmm. And I'll cover what it was actually like in the room during the bin Laden raid, the Iran sanctions, the Gaza ceasefire, you name it.
Okay, but are you ready for whatever questions the students throw at you?
Bring it on.
Stunning.
Now, if you'll excuse me, Karen, I've got to run.
No, she's not running.
You heard the secretary.
These aren't her feet.
To get inside the Situation Room,
wait here, hold on.
Come prepared.
That's how bad of an actress she is. She can't even do her own running. The whole premise of this commercial, and that's why I wanted to...
Send me that.
Oh, yeah.
So I can put that in the video.
I recorded that correctly, so you don't have to worry about the screen moving around.
Yeah,
the premise of this is that Hillary somehow has like this magic app that updates everyone that she's running. So you have this ethnically diverse group of people that are all super excited that they see on their phone that she's running. Turns out she's not really running for president. She's running to get to a job that doesn't start for 4 months. And how big of a liar she is and how bad of an actress is she didn't even fake her own running. She's misusing the term running to make us all think she's running for president.
Unbelievable.
She didn't even so what she was really doing is running to get to her class, because that makes sense on a script. And she didn't even actually do that. She's teaching a class on Inside the Situation Room. She was almost impeached, arrested for her work inside the Situation Room. Columbia University, we went to Columbia, Alec. We took classes at Columbia. I didn't take classes at Columbia. We were scheduled to take classes at Columbia.
We skipped a lot of classes.
She's teaching now.
Okay.
Greg went off the rails.
She's running. She's back.